This is music, and so this is Christmas, and what have we done? Let me show you some tapes and ruin your fun. Welcome to this year's I Hate Christmas video. So I was thinking, what can I do for an anti-Christmas video this time around? And I decided, why not show them the entirety of my music cassette tape collection? And that's what I'm going to do in this video. So I do have some non-music cassette tapes, spoken word and stuff. That's going to be for another day. So I'm going to show you all of my music cassette tapes in this video as of 2024. And we're not talking a massive cassette tape collection with thousands and thousands of tapes. We're talking a couple of hundred tapes. So normally when people shoot this kind of video, they shoot it in one go. They realize, oh, that's a bit of a long video. And then out of viewer friendliness, they chop it up into smaller episodes. I've done the opposite out of viewer unfriendliness. So I've shot it in smaller batches and then I've stitched them all together into one stupidly long video. So if you want to ruin Christmas and watch some idiot with no charisma talk about his stupid cassette tapes, well, this is the video for you. So let's get going. Let's start with the first batch right now. Let's start with the first batch, starting with this one here, Abysmal Grief, Strange Rites of Evil, doomy, gothic-y, occult metal. Good stuff in any case. AC/DC Flick of the Switch, the first AC/DC album I ever heard, and it was actually this very cassette tape that I heard AC/DC on the first time. My parents gave it to me when I was a kid. Acid Blade, Power Dive, this is out on Jawbreaker Records. Another Acid Blade, Shooting Star, also out on Jawbreaker. This one is still sealed. Haven't had a chance to crack it open and listen to it. Also Jawbreaker Records, Acid Force, World Targets and Megadeths. Same story, still sealed. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Pretty Countdown to Terror, OG demo, thrash metal, out on this dub tape. Now some hard-edged heavy metal, Acutor, Dios a Muerto. Good stuff. Here we have Aggressive Perfector, and it's called At the Midnight Hour horror metal. Pretty decent. I like some of the other stuff better. Here we have Akez by Akna. Um, it's a demo tape, and it's rough and tumble thrash metal. Alchemist, and this is called Sanctuary. Sludgy doom metal. There you go. Now another OG cassette tape, The Almighty, Soul Destruction, hard rock, Scottish band, I believe. Now some high roller tapes, starting with this one here, Ambush, and it's called Desecrator. This is heavy metal, along the lines of, Priest, Accept, Iron Maiden. Another Ambush album, and this is called Firestorm. Same style of music. Back to Jawbreaker Records, Amethyst, Rock Knights. Very, very, very retro hard rock heavy metal. Really good stuff. Up next, we have this one here, Antagonist, and it's called Frozen to Death. Um, Trusty thrash with his kind of hysterical vocals, meant in a good way. Uh, Tor by Ancient, black metal. Pretty good stuff too, actually. Here we have the Angels, and it's called Beyond Salvation. This was in a VCLT from BBD Aussie Metalhead. Another VCLT item here. Anthrax, The Sound of White Noise. This was from the mighty one, Metal Marty Mac. Here we have Aquila, I guess, Aquila, Mankind's Odyssey, sci-fi themed power metal with a very versatile vocalist. Really good stuff, actually. And here we have Arabesque, self-titled. Um, I think this is kind of an obscure thing. This is hard rock, glam metal, that style. And I mean, basically from the band photo, you can pretty much figure out the styles. Very good stuff, actually. I really like this one. Good stuff. And the last one in this batch is Armored Knight, and it's called The Sacred Flame. This is also power metal, but it's a little bit more speedy power metal. So, you know, a lot of influence from 80s German power metal, Halloween, early Blind Guardian, and that stuff. Moving on to the next batch, starting with this one here, Armory, The Search. This is speed metal, but it's sci-fi themed, so they refer to their style as hyper speed metal. Now some hard rock, glam adjacent stuff, Asphalt Ballet, Higgs, really good stuff. Rough around the edges, not as polished as a lot of other glam adjacent stuff was back in the day, so this is good. Assail, Pain, this is a demo tape, uh, considered death metal by most people. To me, my ears, it's more like death thrash meets groovy crossover hardcore. Danish band, by the way. Good stuff. A reissued demo, Atrocity, To Be or Not to Be, originally from 1989. Fierce thrash, bordering on extreme metal, I would say. And it has your late 80s rough demo tape production quality. So this might be a turnoff to some people, but I enjoy it. Another reissue, Echoes of Terror by Attila. This sounds a lot like early 80s metal. I think it is early 80s metal. A little bit rough around the edges, production wise, too. Reminds me a bit of the first Iron Maiden album, production wise. Executor, extreme extermination, no, aggressive extermination. In any case, this is filthy speed metal. A change of style. The Bangles' greatest hits. Yeah, this one has all the songs I like by the Bangles, so I enjoy listening to this every now and then. Now, some satanic, blasphemous speed metal. Baphomet's Blood. This is Satanic Metal Attack. Another Baphomet's Blood. This is Second Strike. And yet another Baphomet's Blood. This is Metal Damnation. And these actually originally came in a box set out on Iron Bonehead Productions, I think. It had a lot of goodies in it, but I just bought them loose in a record store and Mephisto, and I got them really cheap because, you know, they didn't have all the extra stuff, but I'm happy I bought them cheap. I got some good music out of it. Change of Style, Barbara Streisand, Greatest Hits Volume 2, and Barbara Streisand, Memories. This is not music I gravitate towards normally, but Garage Geek sent me these, and I do enjoy them because what a voice, what a singer, fantastic stuff. Worth just for the singing alone. Now, a whole bunch of sealed tapes by the same artist, and the only reason why they're sealed is that I haven't had a chance to crack them open and listen to them because this is an artist that is very important to the evolution of extreme metal, and I would like to be able to sit down and really listen to it. Just haven't had the time to do that yet. We're talking uh, Bathory. So self-titled here, Octagon, and Blood, Fire, Death. And I think this is a classic. Under the Sign of the Black Mark. As far as I understand, it's a classic. Blood on Ice. We have this one here too, Hammerheart. One of my favorite record labels is named for this one. And we have this one here as well, Destroyer of Worlds. And we have Twilight of the Gods. And the last one in this batch is The Return. There you go. This was the second batch. The third batch will be up in a second, and it'll start out with some more Bathory. Next batch, like I said, we'll start with some more Bathory. Here we have Requiem and Nordland 1 and Nordland 2. So yeah, I hope to be able to find the time to just sit down and listen to these Bathory tapes because Bathory is undeniably one of the most important artists in the development of extreme metal. Now some doom metal, Beastmaker, Eye of the Storm. Change of style, some big band jazz, swing jazz even. Benny Goodman and his orchestra, courtesy of Garage Geek. I actually enjoy listening to this. It's good fun. Now we got Beyond Serenity promotion tape 1994, a demo tape, Danish band. 2 tracks on here, kind of melodic, thrashy stuff, really good stuff. Here we have Hallucinating and Resurrecture by Bina, and this is death metal. This was part of a VCLT. I forget who sent it to me, but you know I'm grateful. Now some speed metal, Black Denim Rage, out on Jawbreaker Records. This is called State of Emergency. Uh, Good speed metal. Jawbreaker is a label that puts out a lot of really good speed metal, actually. Now, some fantastic Norwegian black metal, Kult, then Top de Kriegen. Uh, Fantastic kind of progressive black metal. We're talking enslaved level genius here. This is awesome. Love this stuff. Now, Black Sabbath, Sabotage. I found this one in the wild here in Copenhagen in a record store, Mint Records. I think it's an Irish copy, so I wonder how that ended up in a record store in Copenhagen. But hey, I'm glad to have it. It's a good album, of course. Here we have Blitz, the Nachtma sessions. This is yeah, kind of an EP, 3 tracks on it. Uh, the first track, Curse of the Witch, is freaking awesome. This is thrash metal. So there you go. Now we have this one here. Welcome to Crimson Pines by Blood Rage. This is a really, really cool cassette tape. Horror death metal, courtesy of the Mighty One, Metal Marty Mac. So thank you. Now we got this one here. This is just a single, The Fear by Bloodstar. Traditional heavy metal, like modern traditional heavy metal with a good dose of hard rock and lady singing. And here we have more of a full album by the same band, Bloodstar. This is First Sighting. Brilliant stuff. Really good stuff. Now, an old cassette tape from back in the day, Bon Jovi's New Jersey. And this was actually the tape that my parents gave to me for Christmas back in the day. Because my parents are cool. They actually supported me, you know, getting into hard rock and metal and stuff. They were just happy that I had some music that made me happy. Good parents. Now we have this one here, Booze Control, and this is Forgotten Lands, another Jawbreaker release. Good stuff. Up next, some weird shit. Brain Trust, and this is called The Evil Rebarber Attack. This is weird. It's fun. I actually like it, but it's weird. Weird 90s metal. Um, yeah, but I like it. This one is interesting. It's kind of like a an advanced promo tape for Bruce Dickinson's Skunk Work with Inertia and Space Race on it. I have no idea how I got this. I've had this for a long time. I suspect my brother somehow got his hands on it and, you know, passed it on to me. So there you go. Burning Red Ivanhoe. This is called Shorts, and it's a shirt. So Burning Red Ivanhoe, originally they were like a progressive kind of jazz rock band. This here is more like, I guess, sophisticated 80s pop rock, if that makes any sense. It's good stuff though. Now we have this one here, Butterfly, Doorways of Time, Retro Hard Rock. This is out on Petrichor. Uh, I don't know if this label is still active, but it was a kind of a sub-label of Hammerheart. And we have this one here, Capilla Ardiente, and this is Solve e Coagula, um, an EP, doom metal, really, really good stuff. So yeah, this was the third batch. Next batch, starting out strong with Carcass, Descanting the Insalubrious, one of my favorite death metal albums of all time, one of my favorite albums of all time. We got some more death metal here, Tharsis Derange. This is from the early 90s. It's a Danish death metal band demo tape here, recorded on a 4-track cassette tape recorder back in the day. Most of the instrumentation was recorded live in the studio. So it has a very undergroundy production. Musically, some of it sounds a bit like Autopsy, and some of it does not sound like Autopsy at all. So very interesting stuff. Really enjoy listening to this one. Cauchemar, Rosa Mystica, French doom metal fronted by a lady. More good stuff. Cerebral Fix, Bastards. Uh, this is thrash metal from back in the day. This is an original tape from back in the day, although I bought it more recently. This is not the original case. I had to replace it because it was pretty busted up. Now we have this one here, Chainbreaker, Lethal Desire, a mix of, I would say, heavy metal and speed metal. Good stuff. And here we have Chantrice, Angel of Misery. This is somewhere in between traditional heavy metal and power metal with progressive leanings. 3 tracks, a bit of an EP. Really, really good songs on here. Excellent stuff. Now we have some hard rock, Cherokee, Blood and Gold, retro hard rock, also fronted by a lady, also really good stuff. Church Bizarre, and this is Sinister Glorification. Uh, Black and Death Metal, and pretty good Black and Death Metal at that. Cirithungal perhaps, Half Past Human, legendary straight up heavy metal band. This is an EP, really good stuff. I think they decided to call it quits. Commando, this is a demo tape. Uh, this very unassuming shell. You got 2 songs on here. Traditional metal meets speed metal. And also Commando. This is Rites of Damnation. Same style, but here they lead more into the traditional heavy metal side of things, but you still have sort of the speed metal. And there's also actually in both of these, but a little bit more on this one, a bit of a blackened edge to it. And then you have this one here by a band called Command, and it's called Resver, and it's actually the same band. They just dropped the O. On this one, they lean more into the blackened side of things, to the point that although you cannot, or I at least cannot say that this is black metal per se, I get a vibe from a lot of the songs that I associate with more atmospheric black metal. So that's interesting. Compulsory Gnosis, Danish, death thrash, early death metal perhaps, demo tape from back in the day. Good stuff. Here we have the Sexy Beard Squad, also known as Consecration. Sinus, Quality, Death Doom. They got the riffs, they got the beards. What more do you want from Death Doom? Convent Guilt. This is Guns for Hire. Traditional heavy metal. I would say same thing with this one because it's the same band. Convent Guilt. This is Diamond Cut Diamond. I believe there are an Aussie band, but I'm not sure. The next one is this one here, Convulse, and it's called Death Star. And this is, I think this is what it would sound like if Pink Floyd were a death metal band. Needless to say, Very interesting. Here we have Criminal Justice, self-titled demo tape. I believe they are a German band. Recognize this generic black shell. I believe they're German. This is thrash metal. This is really good thrash metal. And I really enjoyed. I'm glad I picked this one up. I really enjoy listening to this. Some of the vocal patterns remind me a little bit of Nuclear Assault. Nothing wrong with that. Crypt Rot, and this is an ancient summoning. This was sent to me in a VCLT, so thank you. Uh, Kind of slamming death metal, but not too slamming, so I can actually listen to this and enjoy it. Change of style, The Cult, legendary hard rock band. Some people say they're also an alternative rock band. Don't know. And also Sonic Temple by The Cult. Is this their biggest hit? I don't know. But it's good stuff. Next batch, starting out with this one here. Code Red promo tape 97. No J card, never had a J card. This is actually groove metal, but it's the kind of groove metal that just hits that magic spot. This is great. Uh, awesome riffs, groovy drum beats, cool guitar work, more of an influence from Exorder than Pantera. Pretty good vocals. They do have a bit of that macho shit going on that kind of annoys me about groove metal, but other than that, this is a top class groove metal release. It's up there, I would say, with a lot of the classics. Up next, we have this one here, Demo 2000 by Collapse. Death metal. Um, it's just out on this, dub tape thing. The opening track on this one sounds like a stoner rock song. It's an instrumental. So the first time I heard this, I thought, wait a minute, did somebody record over it? But no, sure enough, it's Death Grind. And although it says Demo 2000, it sounds like Death Grind from the early 90s. Uh, so this is very enjoyable. The only thing that I think is kind of lacking from this, lead guitar dive bombs. I wish there were lead guitar dive bombs all over the place. You don't get that, but you get lots of cool kind of early 90s style death metal guitar solos. Crucible, the Savage Weapon demo, Danish speed metal. Very good stuff. There is a Racer X cover track on here too, so that's nice. Cultist Pillars of Flesh, occult death metal, I would say. Here we have Curve Corner, Graveyard Groove, also groove metal, pretty decent, but it's no Code Red, that's for sure. The vocalist seems to be going for kind of a John Tardy-ish death metal style vocal, so that's interesting. Here you have promo 95 by Cyanotic, groovy and melodic death metal, Danish band too, very good stuff. We have more Danish stuff, just different style. DAD or Disneyland After Dark. No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims. Hard rock album. Some people say it's a glam metal album, but to me it's actually more like a hard rock and 80s metal album. But I think I'm the only person in the world who thinks that. In any case, it's great. I also have this one here by DAD, Risking It All. This is a straight up hard rock album, in my opinion, and it's good. Now we have Demon Lord, self-titled, a bit of an EP with 4 songs on it, and a pretty cool cassette shell, actually. Here you got side A, and here you got side nothing, but there's a cool print on it, so that's cool. Nice. Up next, a masterpiece, in my opinion, Symbolic by Death. One of my favorite albums of all time. This is fantastic. And interestingly enough, we have this one here by a band called Death Storm. It's called Swarming. Uh, Kind of an EP, 3 tracks on it, death thrash, but it's very inspired by death. So that's cool. Up next, we have some speed metal, Defeater, Endless Ray, uh, fronted by a lady. Good stuff. Now some thrash metal, Decapitated, Sin Misericordia. And this is high quality thrash metal on a pretty low quality cassette tape. Um, One of my cassette players can't even play it, but I have some other ones that can. But you can hear the music, and the music is good. Now we have this one here, Death in Hanging by Demon Bitch, not Anvil Bitch. That's a different band. Um, Traditional metal with some speed metal in it, I think is fair enough to say. Here we have Speaking with the Devil by Demona, a one-woman speed metal, as you can see, band. I think she's originally from Chile, but now she's relocated to the States. Some doom metal, Devil's Seed, also fronted by a lady. This is really, really awesome stuff. I love this one. It's great. Now, thrash metal, Despair, Decay of Humanity. It came when I bought it in this shell, which obviously wasn't the original one. Um, kind of technical without being overly technical. Kind of melodic without being overly melodic. Thrash metal. Very good stuff. Uh, Dirty Looks, Cool from the Wire, Glam Metal. This one was VCLT to me by Metal Marty Mac. Then we have this one here, Dirty White Boy, Bad Reputation. This was also a VCLT, but I can't remember who sent it to me. I think it was BVD, but I'm not sure. In any case, thank you. Up next, we have another demo, promo tape, Disaster Area, Altered Beyond Recognition. I love how it says not official for sale. Death Thrash, 90s stuff. And up last, kinda ska, punk, proto new metal, I don't know. All Borough Kings by Dog Eat Dog. Very enjoyable stuff. I had to repair this tape, by the way. It was kind of broken when I got it. The tape had snapped. Okay, that was this batch. Next batch, we start with some thrash metal. Downright Malice, Criminally Insane. Demo tape from back in the 90s. Good stuff. Worth picking up if you come across a copy of it and you like thrash metal. Now you have Dungeon, Purifying Fire, uh, speed thrash metal with some old school metal too. Good stuff as well. This one is interesting. Dunwich Ritual, and this is the Weird Tapes sessions. I bought this thinking it would be like murky, cavernous death metal, because you have the Lovecraftian theme and the cover art, but it is Lovecraftian, but it's speed metal, and it's fronted by a lady, and it's actually pretty damn cool. This is also pretty damn cool. Eidetic, Non-Conspicuous Warning, Danish prog thrash from the 90s. It's a demo tape, their first demo tape. And we also have this one here by Eidetic, Mirror Passway, their second demo tape. Prog thrash, leaning more to the prog side of things, though. Excellent stuff, too. Electric Shock, Trapped in the City. Hard rock and traditional metal. Good fun. Catchy music all around. Excellent. Here we have Eisenhand, and it's Fire Within, or Fires Within. Cool looking tape or shell. Uh, Traditional metal, speed metal, a little bit of punk, and you have Eisenhand. And obviously, that's a good blend. Now we have the Bald Beauties of Blackpool, also known as Enchantment, Cold Soul Embrace, top quality Death Doom. If you like Death Doom or if you just like Doom metal, do yourself a favor and check this one out. It's excellent. Now we have Endocrine, Progeria, uh, Melodic Death Thrash, Early Melodeath. Actually, very good. I really like this one. Entrench, and this is Through the Walls of Death. Filthy thrash metal, perhaps? Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. Some power metal, Spada, and it's called Kaleo. I have two of these. I don't need two of these, so I'll give one away at some point. But yeah, really good stuff and not cheesy. Eternal Thirst, the hellish fight goes on. Also in the power metal territory, but more like traditional metal meets power metal meets US power metal. Really cool shell here, like the print on it. Good stuff. Eternal Evil, The Rise of Death. Filthy thrash metal too, maybe black thrash. Really dirty stuff. So if you like your primitive thrash, you will enjoy this, I think. Here we have Evil Dam, self-titled, and a really, really cool label on the cassette shell here. Now, cover art might suggest kind of Lovecraftian, murky, um, again, cavernous death metal, but I got burned once on this. I got burned on this here too. This is satanic death metal, and it's actually really awesome. Great, great, great riffs and just well composed, aggressive, punchy songs. Excellent stuff. Worth checking out. Evil Madness, The Irrelevance of Existence. I would call this extreme thrash metal. Some people call it black thrash, but I think this is too complex to be black thrash. But it is very aggressive. It is quite extreme. But the core style to me is thrash and nonetheless. Here you have Evoke, Seeds of Death. Um, cool. I actually like the design. It's pretty simple, but I like the design on the shell. Uh, Speed thrash metal, kind of a cult speed thrash metal. Very good stuff. Here we have Evoke, and this is Forever Breeding Evil, but it's a different band called Evoke. This is a death metal band. Here we have Excoriate, and this is called On Pestilent Winds. This is also kind of filthy, maybe black and thrash. A lot of reverb on this one. Almost too much for my taste, but not too much. This is really cool. This is Extinction, and it's called The Monarchy or The Monarch Slaves. This is, I say this is melodic death metal, maybe melodic thrash or death thrash. You got a lady singing. She calls herself Alice Darkpiece, I think. Um, I think if you like Holy Moses, you might enjoy this. There's a weird cover version of Smells Like Teen Spirit on, sung in a French accent. So it's they don't say hello, hello. They say allo, allo. I guess it's charming. Very different now. This is Amor by Aide Gorme and the Trio Los Panchos. Great love songs in Spanish. So these are romantic songs, I guess like early Latin pop. I got this one courtesy of Garage Geek himself. And up last, we have some black thrash with actual black metal elements this time around. Fanatic Attack, and it's called Withstand the Storm. And this one is actually very cool because, in addition to the J card, it comes with this little booklet. And I actually wish more cassette tapes came with this. That's actually very, very cool. So there you go. That was this batch. Let's move on to the next batch, shall we? Starting with some controversial punk metal from Japan. Jism Detestation. I know it's Gism. It's just funnier to say Jism. So there you go. Controversial punk metal. Change of style. Swing jazz. Glenn Miller and his orchestra. Glenn Miller's parade of hits. Uh, courtesy of Garage Geek, the one and only. Thank you, Garage Geek. Another VCLT item here. Gore Shriek. Post-apocalyptic mutations. Uh, out on Cryptic Blood Records, and with this cool print, and even their packaging is art in itself. Excellent. Grave Cross, um, and this is Let It Be Darkness on this really cool looking shell. It's just a shame you don't have the window here because I can't see which side is rewound. That's the only issue. Traditional heavy metal, kind of a cult. Really good stuff. Some of it even has a hard rock feel to it. If you like old school heavy metal, check out Grave Cross. Here we have some power metal, Grey Hawk, and this is Keepers of the Flame. There you go, good stuff. Some more VCLT material, Phoenix Throne, riffy death metal. I was sent a copy of this by Simon from the Pieface channel, and I was also sent a copy by Mark G with a C. So thank you guys. Change of style again, a 90s groove metal, or really alternative rock meets groove metal. with grungy vocals. Um, some of it is pretty good. Some of it is a little bit too 90s. The lyrics are kind of sleazy, so and this is kind of a fun kind of artifact to have. Like some of the stuff is genuinely good, but it's not my favorite groove metal release for sure. Some more groove metal, Green by Forbidden, thrash metal legends, but on this one they explore groove metal too. Uh, Very good album though. Fortress, self-titled, straight up old school heavy metal in my opinion, and it's very enjoyable. Uh, Danish thrash metal here, Furious Trauma, Profit Counts. Very professional demo tape from the 90s. Excellent stuff. Here we have uh, Galloway, and it's called Behold the Realm of Darkness. Speed metal, occult speed metal with some thrash metal elements, if that makes any sense. Rock classic, Gary Moore, Wild Frontier from his hard rock days. And this classic here, Gary Moore, Still Got the Blues. Excellent stuff. While I love his blues stuff, I'm more into his hard rock stuff actually. Although he himself has um, kind of disassociated himself from it. Here we have Conjuration by Guillotino. This is also kind of speed thrash metal, a little bit blackened too. And last in this batch, a rock classic, Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Let's have a look at the next batch. Starting out with a live release, Headrun, live at Nose Lake. This is a Danish doom metal band, so this is a live recording from um, a metal festival in Sweden. This is a very undergroundy kind of live recording, the way it sounds. Uh, really good stuff though. Good doom metal. Haunt here, Burst into Flame. And Haunt, Mosaic Vision, yeah, and Haunt, Mind Freeze, and really cool cover artwork on this one actually. And Haunt, If Icarus Could Fly, here, a brown shell and a yellow J card, brown and yellow, not the best combination of colors, but whatever. And Haunt, Luminous Eyes. So this is traditional heavy metal, in my opinion, straight up heavy metal, and it's good. Up next, Heavy Sentence, Bang to Rights, a mix of traditional heavy metal inspired a lot by the new wave of traditional heavy metal, and I would say a slight punky vibe to it as well. Really good stuff. This is actually excellent. It's worth checking out if you're into this whole new wave of traditional heavy metal thing. Now some thrash metal, a nice short sharp shock of an EP by uh, Hell Possession, and it's called Phantom Aggressor. Excellent stuff. This is Hellfire, the Seven Gates of Hell re-recorded version. So this is Chinese filthy blackened thrash metal. Good stuff. Hellish here. And this is The Offspring of Warlock. And this is a compilation of demo material. So this is filthy, primitive thrash metal. Demo quality, just so you know, but it's good. Now some tasty, just Swedish traditional heavy metal Helvetesport, and it's called From Life to Death. This is great stuff. Great band, worth picking up their stuff if you come across it. Here we have Heretic Bastards, and this is self-titled. This is kind of like punky, crusty, filthy speed metal. And change of pace here. Land of Stone by High Warden. Excellent doom metal. I love this print on this cassette shell. Excellent stuff. Hostile Faith, and this is Last Remnants of Life. Somewhere between death metal, thrash metal, black metals, somewhere along those lines. Danish demo tape from back in the day, Human Factor, The Human Tree, thrash metal. Good stuff. Swedish thrash metal here, Hypnosia, and this is Extreme Hatred, out on Jawbreaker Records, and the owner of the label actually gave me this one. It was a freebie, so I appreciate that. Excellent thrash metal. Here we have Impending Triumph, self-titled EP, power metal, great stuff. And up last in this batch, we have Death Metal Legends Immolation here in After. I would say this is kind of progressive death metal without being super technical, but it's definitely interesting, especially the drumming. So there you go. That was this batch. Let's move on to the next one. Next batch, starting out with some excellent death doom. Here we have In Grief, Echoes of Doom, Paradise Lost, done better than Paradise Lost, in my opinion. Some black metal. This is In the Woods, and this is Heart of the Ages. Excellent stuff. Now some obscure alternative rock Incision. This one didn't come with a J card, so this is just an extra J card I had from a cassette deck cleaner. Inepsy, Rock and Roll Babylon, punky, metally, motorheady rock and roll. Now some insane thrash metal. Infant Death, Total Hell. Kind of, I guess, black thrash. Infant Death, War. I believe they have decided to call it quits, but I'm not sure. Here we have Azale by Insight. Progressive metal, not in the sense of Dream Theater and all that stuff, but it's definitely metal music that is progressive. And you have elements from a lot of different genres here, even like traditional metal and black metal. So it's very cool. Definitely worth checking out. Now, some LA death metal, courtesy of Garage Geek, Incineratum, Disembodied, and some harsh thrash, Primitive Shrines by Insurgency on this cool shell here. That's nice. Now some, I would say, straight up heavy metal, Iron Curtain, Danger Zone. There you go. Now one that's very special to me, Iron Maiden Killers. This is the original tape I had from back in the day. Bought it in the late 80s. It has seen a lot of action. It barely plays because it was played a lot back in the day. Fantastic album. Glad I still have this tape. And some more Iron Maiden. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Excellent album too. Fantastic album too. This one I had to repair because the tape snapped. But I did manage to fix it, and it's just a fantastic album. I love this one too. So that was this batch. Let's move on to the next batch. And the next batch is right here, starting with Iron Maiden, Repair of the Dying. A much maligned album, but I actually love this album. I count this to be the last album of the first golden era of Iron Maiden. Courtesy of Garage Geek, yeah, Edward the Great on cassette tape. Really cool. This is the version that was released in the Middle East and in Asia. So that is awesome. Iron Spell, Electric Conjuring, straight up heavy metal, really good stuff. We have Isatai, Man of Sin, Comanche, Black Metal from LA, courtesy again of the legend that is Garage Geek. And the next one is courtesy of the legend that is Johnny Mac from Rock and Metal Plus. Iselder Metal de Gwyn Kimrich, or something like that. I don't speak Welsh because this is Welsh black metal with the legendary song Cont on it, spelled C-O-N-T, but it's means pretty much the same thing as the C-U-N-T word. And it's just the Welsh version of it. So quite punky Welsh black metal there. And this is also from a VCOT, this time courtesy of Nathan from Metal Down Under, Jimmy Barnes, Two Fires, classic rock, I think is the best way to describe it. Here we have JT Ripper, Gathering of the Insane, harsh thrash metal. Some people call it death thrash, maybe it is. Now we have some black metal, Kausalgia, and this is Dream Quest. Finnish, quite melodic, quite epic, and kind of gothic black metal. Really good stuff. Definitely worth checking out if you're into black metal. Some Danish thrash, Face the Madness by Killing. Um, very good thrash metal, kind of a mix of modern thrash and old school thrash, and then with very German thrash sounding vocals. There you go. Change of style, some prog rock by King Crimson. This is three of a perfect pair. An original cassette tape I found in the wild, but it's not in the original case. I had to replace the case because it was pretty busted. Uh, Gretchen Goes to Nebraska by King's X. To my ears, this is 90s sounding alternative rock ish hard rock, but it's actually from '89, so they're a bit ahead of their time. This is really good. It is a little bit cheesy though, I think, but not too cheesy. I actually quite like it. And the last one in this haul, also courtesy of Garage Geek, Creatures of the Night by Kiss. I'm not a big Kiss fan, but he was kind enough to send me this one, and I actually really like it. So there you go. That was this batch. Next batch, starting out with this one here, Contact, First Contact, speed thrashy stuff, kind of sci-fi space themed. I tend to get this band mixed up with a hard rock band that has a similar theme, but I'm pretty sure this is the thrash band. This is also Contact, Full Contact, really good stuff, and like I said, sci-fi themed. Danish hard rock, underground stuff from the 90s, God's Creation by Courage or Courage, I think is what we used to call them back in the day. They are from my birth town. Courtesy of Garage Geek, Linda Ronstadt, Canciones de mi Padre. Linda Ronstadt doing mariachi music to honor her Mexican heritage. This one is very interesting. Live by the Sword. This is exploring Soldier's Rise. Very, very hard to pigeonhole this in terms of genres. You got a bit of everything. Uh, but I think we can consider it some kind of hard rock metal, somewhere along those lines. Really good stuff. Definitely worth checking out if you want some rock music to listen to. Here we have Lethal Steel Demo 2012, 10-year anniversary. So this came out in 2022. Originally, it came out in 2012. It sounds like the production and sound quality sounds like it was made in the 90s, and the music sounds like it was made in the 80s. Here we have Lone Shark. This is the Gangland tapes. Straight up heavy metal. Maybe, I don't know, with speed metal. I'm actually not even sure I would say there's any speed metal in it. Some people might pick up on some speed metal here. In any case, Lone Shark, good stuff. Some Danish doom metal, Lords of Triumph. This is Reaching the End, is what it's called. Very good stuff if you like your doom metal. Uh, and this one, the next one is the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Star Wars Krieg der Sterne, because it's a German release here. Galactic Music. It's from 78, I think. I think it's from 78. So they only had Star Wars music from A New Hope, which was just called Star Wars back then. So you have a bunch of Star Wars stuff on side one, but on side two, they have to resort to Space Odyssey 2001 soundtrack stuff. So that's kind of a fun thing to have. Here we have self-titled by Lurid Black Metal, just 2 tracks. Black metal with death metal vocals. It's pretty good actually. It's from, I think they're from Chicago. Here we have Lucifer, and this is Iron Shackles. Straight up heavy metal with some pretty weird organ every now and then, if I'm being honest. But good stuff musically. Unfortunately, on side A, kind of like halfway through, the sound cuts off on the left speaker. But whatever. The music is fine. And this here is actually the band that I tend to get Contact mixed up with. This is Lynx, Watcher of the Skies. This is sci-fi space themed hard rock. So that was this batch. Moving on to the next one. Next batch, starting out with some death metal. Malediction, The Soil Throne. Thanks to Mark G with a C and Simon Highface for sending me a piece of this excellent death metal tape. More death metal, some veterans here. Envenomed 2 by Malevolent Creation. A reissue out on Back on Black. Got more of that stuff. Eternal, also by Malevolent Creation. And we got more of that stuff in Cold Blood, also by Malevolent Creation. And we got one more by Malevolent Creation, The Will to Kill. So some death metal there. Moving on to some speed metal. Malheur, and you can see it's speed metal from the speed metal symbol. And there you go. Change of style again. Thieving Magpie by Marillion. So prog rock legends. And this is a live recording. And look at how much tape there is on this one. That's crazy. A lot of music to enjoy from this live recording. More Marillion, Misplaced Childhood. A classic. Prog rock classic. Mart here for the universe. I think these guys would eventually become a thrash metal band, but on this one they play straight up heavy metal, so that's cool. This is thrash metal though. Massive Destruction, Demo 1, 2020. I think it's a one-man project, and as far as I know, the only member is called Mike Metalhead. Now we have some epic heavy metal. Megaton Sword. This is Blood Hails Steel and Steel Hails Fire. Really good stuff with interesting vocals. We got one tape more in this batch. Also, Megaton Sword, an EP called Niralet. That was this batch. Let's see what the next one has in store for us. And we have some more Megaton Sword, Might and Power. There you go. Change of style. Michael Feinstein, the MGM album. Crooner stuff. More enjoyable than I expected. This is courtesy of Garage Geek. Now we have this one here, a Midnight Oil, Diesel and Dust, a classic. Especially the song Beds Are Burning. This is courtesy of Nathan from the Metal Down Under channel. Here we have a single, some hard rock, Midnight Prey. And this is called Black Cat slash Sword and Shield because it's a single with 2 songs on it. Up next, some 80s metal, authentic 80s metal, I believe, by Mindless Sinner. I believe it's a Swedish band. So this is Master of Evil. Look at all that tape. Lots of music on this one. Got some more Mindless Sinner here. Turn on the power. There you go. They're both out on Jawbreaker Records. From Sweden to Denmark, Mirror Blind Tales. Traditional heavy metal, very epic too. From it sounds like it's from the 80s, but it's from the 90s. This demo tape is. I believe it's from the early 90s. It's really good stuff in any case. Here we have Demonic Satanic by Mordant. Uh, thrash metal with a lot of black metal in it and some punk in it, harsh vocals, but in places more melody than you might expect, and it's all blasphemic, which is good fun. Here we have Morpheus, Where No Dreams Reach, underground death doom metal from Denmark from the 90s. It's a demo tape. Mortal Whisper, self-titled, straight up heavy metal. Another Jawbreaker release. I have a lot of Jawbreaker tapes. Some funk rock from the late 70s, I believe. Mother's Finest, another Mother Further. There's some good songs in this one, in particular. Uh, Truth will set you free. Very funky, this stuff. Really good stuff. And last in this batch, Motor Highway Killers. Let's just say this is filthy metal music. All right, some smaller batches now, starting with Motley Crue, Dr. Feel Good. My favorite Crue album with Vince on vocals, and my second favorite Crue album altogether. You can do the maths. Now we have this one here, Beyond Raging Thunder by Mustang. Straight up heavy metal with over-the-top vocals, but that's fine. Some thrash metal, MX Simoniacal, really fast stuff. I love how they made the label look a little bit like those old Philips cassette tapes. I think these guys are from Brazil. We have some more thrash, albeit harsher and more blackened, I guess. Necropsia, Inhuman Pestilence. Hateful stuff, and we like that. Some black metal, Not the Himmel, The Night Sky Beckons, Norwegian black metal. This is really good stuff, and it's very accessible. So it might be one of those gateway black metal releases for people who are looking to get into black metal but don't know where to start. Now, some classic rock, Nick Barker and the Reptiles, Go Into Pieces. This was VCLT to me by none other than BVD, so thanks. Really good stuff. I really like listening to it. Now we have this one here, The Night Eternal, self-titled. Excellent stuff. Traditional heavy metal with great vocals. More along the lines of, doesn't sound like Glenn Danzig, but it's that lower register. I also have this one here by The Night Eternal. This is Moonlit Cross. Some great songs on here. In particular, Son of Sin. That's an amazing song. So this is definitely a band that's worth checking out if you like your straight up old school heavy metal. Now some Belgian, I think, kind of groovy thrash metal. This is just a demo tape. No Compromise. Really good stuff. I enjoy it. And another demo tape, also in the thrash metal neighborhood. This is a Swedish band, No Remorse, Wake Up or Die, on this, well-known, just plain black cassette shell. So there you go. That was this batch. Next mini batch, starting out with this one here, Nocturnal Serpent Death. Nasty, filthy, blasphemous, satanic metal music. Good family-friendly fun. Change of style here. Noiseworks, self-titled. This was sent to me by Nathan from Metal Down Under. Excellent stuff. Classic rock, pop rock. Uh, Lots of good songs on here. Nuclear Revenge, Dawn of the Primitive Age, Filthy Nasty Speedy, Blackened, Thrashy, Extreme Metal. Good family-friendly fun. And up next we have this one here, Delta City by Nuke. Filthy speed metal. Quite punky too. Good, family-friendly fun. The next one is a very special one. Our Trauma is Not a Competition by Off Concrete Gods. Acoustic alternative metal featuring our very own Mr. Boulder on guitar. So check it out. Now, some absolutely fantastic 80s metal. Omen, Warning of Danger. You got like twin lead guitars with the harmonies all over the place. You got galloping guitars. You have 80s metal riffage. You got fantastic vocals. Just amazing stuff. I also have this one here, The Curse, also by Omen. And yeah, if you like 80s metal, do yourself a favor and check these two out. There's a good chance you will like them. I prefer this one here a little bit more than this one here, but they are both absolutely fantastic. Up next, we have some HM2 death metal, One Day in Pain, and this is Imperial Fires. And some of you will be interested to know that this is one of many Roger Johansson projects. And this is really cool because they have a whole bunch of guests doing lead guitars. So I like that. That's awesome. So yeah, if you like your Swedish sounding death metal, check this out. We are staying in Sweden, but changing to another subgenre, straight up authentic 80s heavy metal by Onyx. This is a compilation out on Jawbreaker Records. Just, fantastic, authentic Swedish heavy metal from the 80s. Definitely worth picking up. And the last item in this batch is this one here, Serpent Temptation by the artist formerly known as Incubus, now known as Approprium. Uh, Very, very fast and aggressive thrash metal. When this one came out, I didn't like it because the vocals were too harsh for me. Now I like it, but I think the vocals are not harsh enough. Next mini batch, starting out with this one here, Indet Eldet by the Danish black metal band Orm. 4 tracks between 19 and 25 minutes. So not only are the songs long individually, the whole album is quite long. Fortunately, this is top quality black metal in my opinion. Up next, if you like your speedy heavy metal, Outlaw Marauders. There you go. More speedy, but this is kind of like more punky speed metal, Overcharge, and it's called Speed Sick. I really like this label on here. Good, enjoyable, fun stuff. It's more kind of speedy stuff. Overdoses. It's just called EP. So there you go. More punky stuff. Overhaul, and this is called Rock and Roll Fuel. So this is more like punk metal. And here we have this one, Overture Demo 2022, but it's actually out on a professional label, Jawbreaker Records. And here we have an old tape from back in the day, a series, Mint Ayek, or something like that. Heavy metal, hard rock, really good stuff actually. Some thrash metal, Pandemia, and this is Aggression Desires. Uh, I don't know why, but I really like this label and this cassette tape for some reason. The music is good. Up next, we have some death thrash, Panic, and I believe it's self-titled. I think they're from Chile, but I'm not certain. Uh, Very cool guitar tone on this one. Uh, the guitar tone sounds very ampy, like it's played through a real amp which it probably is. On the other hand, the drums sound very artificial, so that's interesting. It sounds almost like they're recorded on a very small electronic drum kit. Uh, but this is good stuff, and all the imperfections just make it even cooler, if you know what I mean. And up last, thanks to Mark G with a C for sending me this one, Icon by Paradise Lost, a Death Doom classic. So let's move on to the next mini batch. Next, mini batch, starting out with some fairly old school death metal Parasitario Reincarnated Humans. I believe it's a Japanese death metal band. 4 tracks on here, but they're short. So this is, if you need a quick fix of death metal, which we all need every now and then, some thrash metal, Parkrest, and that blue will turn to red. And check it out. This blue turns to red. Neat. Back to the world of fairly old school death metal. Pathetic, that's what the band is called. Rat King is the name of or title of the album. This one has a song on it called Defecating Upon the Grave of the Grand Wizard, which has to be one of the best death metal song titles ever. Now some doom metal, Penance, Parallel Corners. This has a bit of a stoner rock edge and a thick, fuzzy guitar tone, and I know a lot of people like that. Up next, we have The Fifth Moon by Pentacle. This is not a cult doom metal, although you might think that. It's not a cult black metal either. It's filthy thrash metal, maybe black and thrash, and it's really good. Now we have some filthy speed metal, Petrol, self-titled, out on Dying Victims Productions. So you have these really cool cassette shells with cool prints on them. The next one, I bet you didn't see this one coming in the air tonight. Face Value by Phil Collins. Excellent pop rock album with some hits on it, to be sure. Up next, some death metal, Devoted to God by Phlebotomized. Fairly old school sounding death metal too, but you got synthesizers and you got some parts that sound almost like synth wave meets death metal, but it is unadulterated death metal. Don't worry, it's really good. Um, Death metal fans, I'm pretty sure will like it. And up next, we have some thrash metal by Frenetics, State of Ruin. This is just no nonsense thrash metal, no silly subgenres or anything like that, just thrash metal. Frenetics Fear as well. And this is excellent stuff. It's fronted by a lady who also plays the guitar. And if you are a thrash metal fan, check out Frenetics. I'm sure you will enjoy it. So let's move on to the next mini batch, please. Next mini batch, and we start out with some dirty death metal, Pile of Death Obliteration, out on this charming brown shell. Uh, Very, very rough production, but it's part of the charm. Radical change of style, Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon, of yeah, progressive rock classic for sure. Now we have this one here, Uncivilized by Pounder, straight up heavy metal. We got another Pounder, this one here, Breaking the World, same style. Moving on to some glam metal, Princess Pang, self-titled. A lot of boogie rock influence in this one. It's a really fun listen, and they were a bit of a rarity because it was a glam metal band with a lady singing, and she has a really cool rock voice. Really enjoyable, good fun. Up next, Prong, Prove You Wrong. I have this one on vinyl, but I couldn't help myself. Picked it up on cassette tape too. Now, more Prong, probably their biggest hit, Cleansing, with Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck. More groove metal, in my opinion. Radical change of style again. Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Rap legends, and in my opinion, far superior to pretty much anything rap music related that's put out these days. I also have this one, Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. And the last one in this batch is Pretty Mates, Red Hot and Heavy Aga Live 2009. This is an unofficial, maybe an official bootleg. I think that's better. Uh, I think it's just recorded from the audience. It's really rough around the edges and definitely something a hardcore Pretty Mates fan would be interested in. Now, this was recorded at a festival called Heavy Aga. Aga is basically a village that, since the 80s, had a small clique of people who liked heavy metal, and they were so unusual in that kind of community that several documentaries have been made about this small community of metal fans. And at some point, they decided to launch a festival, and this is recorded at that festival, Heavy Aga. Uh, and there is a Heavy Aga festival in 2025, so it's still going strong. So last mini batch, but not the last batch at all. We start out with some cavernous death metal, Putrid Evocation. This one is called Eternal Gloom, a void of agony and repugnancy. That's a bit of a mouthful. Up next, some more death metal, but kind of more filthy death metal. Putrid Fate, Visions of Horror, courtesy of Simon from the Pieface channel. Now we have some progressive metal. Queensryche Promised Land. This is where a lot of people drop off Queensryche, but I really enjoy this one. I drop off with the next one. Now we have some straight up heavy metal. Raging Fire, Caught in the Game. Cool label on this shell here. Yeah, really good stuff if you like your straight up heavy metal. Here we have Razor Steel, No Time to Go Back. Also straight up heavy metal with some speed metal, I would say. And I also get a vibe that I associate with early Vicious Rumors for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe it's the chords they use or something. I have no idea, but I like it. Now, ultimately, this is thrash metal. Ramera. This is Anarquía y Destrucción. And very interesting choice of color on the print on the shell. But yeah, really good stuff, actually. Now some deep beaty, crusty, thrashy, deathy music. Razor Void, Terror in Time. Good stuff. Some straight up thrash metal now. Hilt by Thrash, Reactory. This is really good too. Now some more death metal. And this one is Reaver, Butchery from Beyond, out on uh, Dying Victims Productions. So you have some cool prints and stuff on the shell. And up last, quick 30 a dose of speed metal, Reckless. And this is Relentless Assault and Prisoner. So it's kind of a single. You have 2 tracks on it. Excellent stuff if you need, if you need a quick fix of speed metal to energize you for the rest of the day. So yeah, that was the last mini batch, but I have more batches, so we will return to the more substantial ones right now. Back to a more substantial batch, and this one is quite heavy on the thrash and speed metal side. But first we have this one here, Rat King. We Are the Rat King, out on Jawbreaker Records, out on this sleek black cassette shell, except it's white on the other side, and you have the track list here too, which is a bit of a cool touch. It's a bit of an EP and straight up heavy metal, in my opinion. Up next, some death metal. This is Reckless Manslaughter, Caverns of Perdition. Not cavernous death metal, though, in my opinion. More like old school death metal, but good stuff. Some speedy heavy metal, or maybe straight up speed metal. Revenge, Spitting Fire. Good stuff. And some more speedy heavy metal slash speed metal. Ripper, Speed and Violence. Not surprisingly, also good stuff. The next one is really cool. This is Rising, Long Way Tour live in Sweden, 1983. I have the gold cassette shell limited edition. So yeah, this is authentic early 80s Swedish heavy metal recorded live. It's very undergroundy. It's rough around the edges, but you can hear enough of what's going on to instantly figure out that this is actually excellent music. This is worth picking up. Up next, some thrash metal, Retorzio, and this one is called Tamadas 98 Vol Demo 2002. Rough and tumble thrash metal, the way we like it. Some more thrash metal, Reverge Back Thrash. This is a Japanese thrash metal band. Uh, I don't know if you've noticed, but I actually don't have a whole lot of Japanese metal in my cassette tape collection. This is good stuff in any case. Now some straight up heavy metal, Road Warrior, Power, out on Dying Victims Productions. So you got cool prints on the shell. Back to the world of rough and tumble thrash metal. This is Roadkill, thrash speed metal. Yeah, rough and tumble, but really good. Very enjoyable, actually. Uh, Slowing down a little bit, Roots of the Old Oak, Blood. This is death doom, or really to my ears, it's traditional doom metal with death metal vocals. And it's good. Up next, courtesy of the mighty Metal Marty Mac, Rocks Gang, things you've never done before. Whatever those things might be, this is good stuff. Back again to the world of rough and tumble thrash metal. Rest in peace, Exhumed. So this collects an old demo and some live recordings, and it is very underground, early, filthy thrash metal, but it's enjoyable. More thrash metal. Sacrifice, Soldiers of Misfortune is a High Roller Records tape. Uh, Fierce and fast thrash metal. I also picked this one up, I remember, while I was at it. Sacrifice, Torment and Fire, even faster and fiercer thrash metal. Same band, of course. And why not this one? Sacrifice, Forward to Termination, even faster and fiercer. Uh, really good stuff. Now we have this one here, Sadistic Force. This is Aces Wild. Speedy, thrashy, uh, old school metally, blackened, filthy music, but with some surprises, like in terms of sophistication and melody. Fun stuff, good stuff too, actually. Some very retro heavy metal, Sandstorm, Desert Warrior. There's some great songs on here, especially Power of the Pyramids. And it's a Dying Victims production cassette, so you got cool prints on the shell itself. Now, more thrash metal, Sarkator, and this is self-titled. This is a good, healthy marriage of old school and new school thrash metal, and it's good. Now some very old school heavy metal. Envoy of Death by Sarcophagus. Uh, 70s metal sounding metal with thick organ and stuff. Finnish band, I think one of the early Finnish metal bands. Excellent stuff. I mean, if you like that very old style of heavy metal. Now we have this one here, Savaged. This is Knights of Metal. It's a single. You only have two tracks on it. You have of Metal on side A, and then you have Stealing the Night on side B. Knights of Metal is a power thrash song, and Stealing the Night is an all-out just traditional heavy metal song. Very enjoyable and a quick fix of metal if you need that. And up last, in this batch, Savagery Off the Ruins, also out on Dying Victims Productions. Thrash metal with hysterical vocals. The kind of vocals that will get you beaten up severely on the playground. Let's move on to the next batch. Next batch, starting out with a rehearsal demo, Scavenger Brats Electric Death. Sounds pretty good for a rehearsal demo, but do not expect it to sound like, crisp and polished. Shafat, self-titled, also thrash metal. This is also thrash metal, Voices by Schizophrenia. And this is also thrash metal, albeit a little bit more death thrashy, Scythe, Subterranean Steel. Now, a radical change of style, Shubiduati, This is a Danish pop rock band, and this one has one of their biggest hits on it, Folkevogn. There's also a song on here that is literally called Fuck You. And uh, there is one of the first Danish language rap songs called Rap Rap. That's why I picked it up. So yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Now some punky metal, sick violence. This is Hegemonia de la Decadencia Humana. Good stuff. Some straight up heavy metal, breaking the spell by Sign of the Jackal, fronted by a lady with a great voice. Now some pirate metal, Silver Bones, Brethren of the Coast. Uh, there's a handful of Running Wild cover songs on here, including Little Gold, which I adored when it came out, and I still love that song. Now we got some weird 90s metal, Simple Aggression, and the release is called Formulations in Black. And this is one of these IRS promo tapes that came out back in the day. So that's why it looks so simple. Uh, yeah, weird 90s metal, but there's actually a lot of good stuff on here, I think, including a nice funk metal song called Jedi Mind Trick. Straight up heavy metal, Sin Starlet, Solid Source of Steel. Great stuff. The vocals might be an acquired taste, but I like the vocals. Some filthy, dirty, nasty, horrible death metal, Kill and Die by Skull Maggot. So there you go. Crossover thrash now. SNF acting like a fool. A little bit rough around the edges, but good stuff. Some doom metal, Solemn Lament. It's so doomy that cassette shell is gray. Doesn't get more doom metal than that. Now some thrash metal, Soothsayer, and this is to be a real terrorist. That's what it's actually called. This is one of these reissued demo tapes. So this is extremely rough around the edges, both in the production and in the performance. But if you are a thrash metal aficionado and you would like to add some obscure underground stuff to your collection, it's worth looking into this one for sure. Back to the world of doom metal. Sorcerer, this is the Sorcerer demo. A legendary Swedish epic doom metal. It even has the simple white shell here. Although this is an original, it did not come with the note with the contact details, so they have been lost at some point. Excellent music, excellent demo. I think it has been released more officially on vinyl and maybe CD, but I'm not sure. Now some thrash metal, kind of prog tech, not super prog tech. Species to find Deliverance, fantastic stuff if you like your thrash metal. Now we have this one here, Speed Killer Demo 1. And this is a really cool case with prints on it. And as you can see, it has the speed metal symbol on here. But to me, this is the two tracks on here. To me, this it sounds more like traditional heavy metal, but I'm not the genre police. It's good in any case. Another band called Speed Killer, and this is Midnight Vampire. This is filthy speed metal with kind of death metal-esque vocals. Some old school heavy metal with German language lyrics. Spiker Heavy Metal Macht. There's some really good stuff on this one. It's actually worth grabbing. Um, some more doom metal. Spiritus Mortis Fallen. This is excellent. This band manages to combine epic doom metal and, the more kind of stoner 70s rock inspired doom metal, and it works just seamlessly. Excellent stuff. And up last in this batch, another Spiritus Mortis one, the god behind the god. So there you go. Next batch coming up right now. Next batch, starting out with some more Spiritus Mortis. This time it's the self-titled one. Same style of doom metal. And now some 90s underground thrash metal. This is Square Waves 3D Hate. I believe it's a demo. I'm not sure though, because it looks very professional. Pretty cool music, actually. Now some Danish speed metal, Steel Inferno, and The Earth Stood Still. This one is fronted by a lady. She's not in the band anymore, but she sings on this one, and she is actually pretty damn good. I believe she's a history teacher in high school, so she was probably too busy with her job. I don't know. Here we have To Kill Evil by Stone Vengeance. This is angry, hateful Christian speed metal. The music is actually very good. It's quite bass heavy. The lyrics are extremely violent. So yeah, that's a thing, I guess. Up next, we got this one here, Storm Death, Call of the Panzer Goat. Uh, very good thrash metal too. Now we got this one here, Strike Master, Up the Massacre. Also thrash metal. Also thrash metal, I guess ish. Suicidal Tendencies, and this is The Art of Rebellion. Not their most popular album, but I still consider it to be one of their classic releases. Courtesy of Simon from the Pieface channel, Sun Moon. This is Folklore in Medieval Times. A mix of black metal and I guess dungeon synth. Radical change of style again now. The best of Suzanne Vega, tried and true. I like a lot of her songs, so I enjoy listening to that one. Now some thrash metal from back in the day. Syndicate, New Messiah. This is a reissued demo. They forgot to hand number it. Uh, thrash metal, pretty good stuff musically. The production is pretty decent actually for an underground demo from back in the day. There's also this one, also by Syndicate, Under the Dust. They also forgot to hand number this one. And this is also a reissued demo. This one is really raw though in the production. Also from a VCLT Tangier, this is Stranded, and this is glam metal, melodic hard rock, and it's actually pretty damn good. Now some thrash metal, Task Force, Toxicator, Reborn in Thrash, also pretty damn good, just thrash metal. The next one is really interesting actually. This is Templar, and it's called Black Knight. This is traditional heavy metal. It's really raw, not in the production though, but in the performance. Sounds like they did it in one take. Uh, I don't know if that's the case, but it adds a lot of authenticity to it. And the songs are, they're actually pretty cool. Up next, some more traditional heavy metal, Tension Decay. I think this is also pretty cool. Now, some death thrash, Rematerialization Fails by Terok Nor. Yeah, Star Trek themed death thrash. Doesn't get better than that. Uh, Therion, Sirius B, right? Yeah, Sirius B. Uh, Epic, symphonic, gothic metal. The first time I listened to this one, I expected to be bored to tears. I ended up kind of enjoying it. Uh, Partially, genuinely enjoying it, and partially kind of enjoying it ironically because it is really cheesy. Up next, another old school demo tape, and this is an original. This is Thorn's Crown, uh, Death Thrash as well, and also an original demo tape from back in the day, Thorns and Flowers, and this is called uh, The Awakening, Gothic metal, but not as cheesy as Therion. And this one is Thrash Bombs, and this is Master of the Dead. Thrash metal, and you might expect this to be like primitive, blackened, filthy thrash, but it's actually, it reminds me a lot of Death Angel, actually. So quite a lot of melody and stuff like that. It's really good. And Thrash It, and this is Kaiser of Evil, also thrash metal, also pretty good stuff. So that was this batch, and let's move on to the next one. Next batch, we start out with this one here, the Throbs, the Language of Thieves and Vagabonds. This is a hairband from back in the day. This is hard rocky, sleazy, glammy stuff. Also very rock and rolly, which makes it a super fun listen. There's a song on here though called Honey Child, which is one of the most disgusting hair band country ballads I've ever heard. Don't know why, it just gives me the icks. The vocals overall get a little bit annoying, but it's no biggie. So overall, this is a super fun and enjoyable listen. I just wish I could skip Honey Child. Thunder, Everybody Wants Her. It's like a single, good fun, hard rock too. Now some straight up heavy metal. This is Thunder Slave. This is Unchain the Night. High quality heavy metal on a low quality cassette tape. But I guess the low sound quality is not terrible. The low sound quality adds some kind of authenticity, I guess. Thunderstrike, self titled, also straight up heavy metal. Now some hardcore and crust tinged, thrashy death metal with HM2 undertones. It's a Raka Johansson project and it's really good stuff. Also crusty, but more crusty, filthy speed metal, Toronto Under Siege. Also good stuff. This is Total Annihilation, Unchains of Doom. This is thrash metal. Cool label on the shell itself. It kind of borders on death thrash, but I don't consider it death thrash, if you know what I mean. Total Inferno, and the title actually is Pure Evil Cassette from Hell. So you know you're in for some good stuff. Now up next some black metal, avant-garde black metal, Total Negation, Zur späten Stunde and Zeiträume. Yeah, this is avant-garde, I guess kind of progressive black metal. On side two, you even have the melodica, which I think is just super cool. Some Norwegian grindcore, but it has a lot of hardcore elements, but it is grindcore. Total Tumming, and this is Tankeskræk, and super cool stuff. And they even have like a humorous approach, which I think is just nice. Uh, Toxic Death, Speed Metal Hell, Filthy, Thrashy Speed Metal, which means it's good stuff. This is Trash Torn, Into the Void, strong thrash metal. I like it. Here's a demo tape from back in the day, Trend. This is a band from my birth town, hometown of Odense. This is funky, groovy metal. They called it street metal, I guess. Um, Trio, courtesy of Garage Geek. You got Linda Ronstadt, you have Emmylou Harris, and you have Dolly Parton singing on here. All fantastic singers. It's country music, very folky country music. I will say Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris are my favorite out of the three singers on here, and Linda Ronstadt is a favorite of all of them. Up next, a classic, Twisted Sister, Under the Blade. Good stuff. Um, it's one of these Warner Brothers cases here. I hope I can prevent it from getting destroyed because I think it is kind of cool to have it. So there you go. Up next, we have Tyranno, and this is March of Death. I bought this because it was described as death metal, but it's more like death thrash to me. I would not consider it death metal. Tyranno's Satan, and this is Katakombarnas Kakafoni. Me trying to speak Swedish. I apologize for butchering the Swedish language. Somewhere in between blackened thrash and death thrash without, being all of that without being any of it, if you know what I mean. Uh, Filthy, dirty stuff in any case, and we like that. This is America's Least Wanted by Ugly Kid Joe, a hard rock classic, and it is really good. Here we got some black metal, as far as I remember. Weir, and this is Önach Teilten. This is from a VCLT. Now we have this one here on Procreation, Ionic Metanoia. Not Striper, although you have the Striper color scheme. Blackened Death Metal, and Oblast, V Feiju, V Feiju, maybe. Solar Signs. This is guitar rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and it's really good stuff. So that was this batch. The next one is coming up right now. Next batch, starting out with a double whammy here. Vain, No Respect, 2 copies. One of them was sent to me by Nathan from the Metal Down Under channel. And as you can see, they are quite different pressings, whatever you call it, with cassette tapes. So that's why I keep both of them, just for the fun of it. Glam metal, sleaze rock, really good stuff actually. Now some, I would say, thrash metal. Rex by Vampire. Some people consider this to be blackened thrash. I don't know about that. Whatever. Also, this one by Vampire with Primeval Force. Same style. This is actually really good stuff, in my opinion. Now, OU812 by Van Halen. Uh, to me, this is just an 80s rock album with some fantastic guitar work on it, of course, and great vocals. I am sorry, I like Sammy Hagar's vocals much better than David Lee Roth's vocals. And a fun detail is that the track list here is incorrect. It's the right songs, but they don't appear on the tape in this order, so that's fun and confusing. Venator, Paradiser, straight up heavy metal in my opinion, even with a bit of punk rock attitude. Some people consider it speed metal. I don't. This is pretty good. The drumming, however, sounds a bit uninspired. On this one, however, also by Venator, Echoes from the Gutter. The drumming is great. This is much better. And that's not to say that the other one is bad. It's just to say this one is fantastic. Definitely worth checking out. Now we got this one here, Sewer Surge by Vengeance, also known as Fucking Vengeance. So this is a good mix of traditional heavy metal, even some hard rock, some punk metal, some Motorhead worship, some speed metal, some thrash metal. And you have the hit classic song, Disappointing Parking Lot 6. Another band called Vengeance or Vengeance Rising. I don't remember if they changed from Vengeance Rising to Vengeance or from Vengeance to Vengeance Rising, but this one here, Human Sacrifice, is released under the moniker of Vengeance Rising. Christian thrash metal, some people consider it death thrash. I don't really hear the death. Maybe it's because the vocals are a little bit harsh. Musically, this is fantastic. It's awesome. The vocals, half of the time they sound pretty cool, half of the time they sound lame, if I'm being honest. And the lyrics are your proselytizing, lecturing, maybe even preachy lyrics, and they don't fit, I think, this aggressive music. It's just not congruent, in my opinion. Um, at least Stone Vengeance took their Christian message in a completely hateful and violent direction, which kind of fit their branch of speed metal. Obviously, I disagree with their message, um, but at least it's congruent with the music. But in any case, the music on this one is fantastic, and it makes up for everything else. That is for sure. Now some mariachi. This is Vicente Fernandez uh, Palabra de Rey. So yeah, some fun mariachi, courtesy of the one and only Garage Geek. Now a thrash metal classic. This is Violence and its Eternal Nightmare. Uh, this is an original tape from back in the day, I think. Fortunately, this has been reissued recently, a couple of years ago, on vinyl. Worth picking up if you like your thrash metal. Now some crusty punky metal, Vapor, and this is Violent Primitive Force. There you go, bit of an EP. It's good fun. Some traditional metal here, Virgin Idol. Uh, yeah, musically it's traditional heavy metal. The vocalist sounds like he's going for a King Diamond vibe in places and for an Udo Dirkschneider vibe in places, like somewhere in between those two singers. It's pretty good stuff though. Now some crusty black metal. Vulva promises unfold as lies. As far as I remember, they're all ladies in this band, or at least some of them. It's really good stuff if you like your punk and your black metal. You got both of them right here. Now some more straight up heavy metal, Voltax, and this is Fugitive State of Mind. Out on, you've seen a couple of these cassette tapes already in this video. Um, they look really cool, but of course you can't see tools here, which are, it's slightly annoying. So this is out on a label called Raw Black Cult. Um, so I assume they have like black metal and extreme metal. Most of what I have from them, if not all of it, is traditional heavy metal. Uh, Good stuff though. Fantastic stuff here. Wow Wow Cyclone, Japanese traditional 80s heavy metal with fantastic guitar work and fantastic vocals. There's a little bit of AOR on this one too, which I welcome with open arms. Now some thrash metal, thrash speed metal, Vulture. This is battered, ghastly waves and battered graves. Ghastly waves and battered graves. Really good stuff. I like this one better though, also by Vulture. This is Dealing Death. I think this one is fantastic. Um, I thought I had their debut album, The Guillotine, as far as I remember is what it's called. I thought I had it on cassette tape, but I don't, so I want to pick that one up. And I want to pick their latest album up too, also on cassette tape. From Vulture to this one here. This is Vulture's Vengeance. A lot of vengeance in this video. Just a two-track single, straight up heavy metal. Excellent stuff. And the last one in this batch is this one right here, Warhammer, the Doom Messiah. So this is Hellhammer early Celtic Frost worship, and it's good fun. I like it. This one here, there's a misprint on the shell here. What they have is side Doom, so that's side A. It's printed as side A. That's actually side B. This the side B songs. And fortunately, on side Messiah or side B, you got the side A songs on here. So a little bit confusing, but doesn't matter. You got all the songs. So yeah, that was this batch. The next one is going to be a smaller batch too. We'll see. All right, the penultimate batch, starting out with this one here, War Hate, Thrash Invasion, Demo 88. This is one of these reissued demos from back in the day. Looks like this without the hype sticker getting in the way. Pretty cool cover artwork, actually. So it is rough around the edges, production-wise and performance-wise, but the songs, there's nothing wrong with those. They're pretty good. It's worth checking out if you like your obscure thrash. Now, I was listening to this one in my office this week, actually, and one of my colleagues came in for a work-related talk, and I turned off the cassette player, and she said, "What was that?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "What was that?" Pointing at the cassette player, and I said, "Well, it's Warhead." And she said, "Are you listening to cassette tapes? I can't believe it." Uh, and that's because, in the eyes of the public, the general public, of course, cassettes are a medium that died a long time ago, so a lot of people are often surprised to learn that it is actually still a thing. Up next, some death metal, Wayward Dawn, House of Mirrors. A nice 1-2 punch, two tracks. It's a single. Danish band, I believe. It's HM2 tinged death metal, so I think a lot of you will like it. Up next, change of style, Winger in the Heart of the Young. This is a poppy, commercial, glammy, hair metally hard rock, and it's freaking awesome. I gotta say, super catchy songs, cheesy, but not too cheesy, great vocals, and just out of this world musicianship, in particular, the lead guitar. It's amazing. Uh, as you can see, it's a cassette tape from back in the day. I think even if you don't like glam metal, if you like Guitar Heroes, I think you will appreciate this one. I will pick up more Winger, and I think I'll stick to cassette tapes because, yes, I sit around in my office and listen to him. Anyways, up next, Witch Burner, and this is Blasphemic Assault. If I'm not mistaken, and I might well be, this is a German thrash metal band, and this one came out in 97, 98 originally. I might be mistaken. This is a reissue, of course. But it sounds like Teutonic Thrash from 1985. So I think a lot of you will really enjoy this one. Up next, Witch Power, traditional heavy metal. Really good stuff too. Now, this one obviously didn't come in this case. Uh, looks like this. Now, the case it came in was completely shattered, so the only spare case I had was this one from one of those tapes you use to clean your cassette deck. Good stuff. Also good stuff. Also, in my opinion, traditional heavy metal Hilt, and this is Ancient Sword Cult. Traditional metal, in my opinion, but very melancholic, very original in that sense. And while it's not doom metal, it has those doom metal vibes. This, I tell you, is fantastic. Up next, also pretty good stuff. Wyvern, The Rage of Silence, live and rare. And I don't know, this is a tape from back in the day. I don't know if you can see it, but uh, part of the title here has been, yeah, can you see that? It's been blacked out on both sides. Don't know what's going on there, but this was not uncommon with the independent releases on cassette tape, like demo tapes and stuff back in the day. If they'd made some kind of production error, typically they might not be able to afford to fix it, because a lot of bands would blow a big portion of their budgets on just a demo tape. Anyways, this is non-PC Italian power metal, and it's really damn good. You have some studio recordings. I believe that's the rare part. So I assume, I don't know, but I assume they're like previously unreleased, or maybe they appeared on demos or promos or something. And then you also have some live stuff. Really good stuff, like I said, non-cheesy Italian power metal. There's only one cheesy ballad on here, and that's about it. Uh, they put out some albums later on. I have one on CD, and it's really good. Now, XXX, Walk the Plank, or 4X, also Walk the Plank. This is mid-paced 90s thrash metal with a really, really crunchy guitar tone. I love the guitar tone. Really good riffs too. Maybe they're kind of leaning a little bit into groove metal territory. As you know, I don't have a problem with that. So this is pretty decent. I like it. The only thing is, it's an A side, B side tape, but side A and side B are not indicated on the shell, so that's a bit annoying. Okay, now we move on to a split. This is Acid Evil and Demona, and it's called Acid Demons. So Demona and Acid Evil are two one-woman speed metal projects from South America originally. Demona has been relocated to the States uh, after a stint in Canada. I think Demona originally is from Chile, but I'm not certain. And I think Acid Evil originally is from, I don't remember, Peru, maybe Bolivia, maybe. Ecuador, maybe. I don't remember. But it's good stuff, both of them. Rough around the edges, production wise and performance wise. So that means really authentic. So if you like speed metal, check this out. It's really good stuff. Very underground, but really good. Another split here. This is more thrash metal. This is Toxic Carnage and Rapture, and it's called Creatures of the Fallen Fate. Really good stuff. Thrash metal, both of them. So you got Toxic Carnage on side A, you got Rapture on side B. I don't know which side I prefer, to be honest. They're both equally good, but they're also different from one another. I appreciate that. And the last one in this batch, courtesy of the legend Garage Geek, a compilation, Surfin' USA, Surf Rock Classics, good fun. Okay, moving on to the next batch. That's Odds and Sods and Boxsets. Final batch, finally. This is Odds and Sods and box sets as well. Starting out with this one, obviously not a box set. Icentor, Mighty and Superior. This is like a single. You got two tracks on it. What's interesting is that on side B, the two tracks are in the rough mixes without vocals. Up next, courtesy of Garage Geek, Echoes, the best of Pink Floyd, a two cassette set here. I quite enjoy it actually. I haven't cracked this one open yet, but this is Armored Saint, Symbol of Salvation, the two cassette limited edition version, which comes with obviously the original album and then with the demos as well. Up next, Xandril, The Vision of Rotting Darkness, the demos 1983 to 1988, speed metal, a two cassette compilation basically. I think it has everything this band ever put out on these two cassettes. Speed metal. At some point they had a lady singing, and at some point they had a guy singing. So you got both vocalists occurring or appearing here. Up next, we got a death metal box set, Brave, the classic album collection, and yeah, so you have Into the Grave, You'll Never See, and Soulless. Definitely some death metal classics there. And the next one is really cool. This is Neptune, Legends from the North. 40 years of Swedish steel, 1980 to 2020. So you have Join the Battle, you have Land of Northern, and then you have Northern Steel. Traditional heavy metal, super stuff. And it looks great too. Probably one of my favorite box sets in my collection across all media. Up next, we got this one here, Resurrection, the complete collection by Syndrome. Also, pretty good stuff, put it mildly. Into the Halls of Extermination, a Vault of Inner Conscience, and then you have the live one, live at the Iron Rail. Now, I guess, kind of gothic metal, whatever. Theater of Tragedy, and this is the early years, 94 to 98. Uh, Pretty cool looking box set. It kind of fits this, you know, gothic metal genre. Up next, we have this one here, Asphyx or Acefix. I don't care, whatever. Abomination Echoes. So another box set that kind of collects some arts and sods. Uh, yeah, this one was also, I think, released on, a bunch of 7-inch vinyl. I think. I'm not certain actually, but I think so. And the very final item, Possession, Chance of the Nameless, awesome doom metal. I think they're from Chile. Pretty sure they are. So yeah, this was finally the last batch of stuff in my cassette tape collection. So there you have it. Almost the entirety of my cassette tape collection, but for sure the entirety of my music cassette tape collection as of 2024. So, yeah, have a Merry Cassettemas and Happy New Year's. Thanks for watching.